Welcome back to the Rare Coins Collections. Today, I have an exciting discovery to share with you. If you're a collector or just a lover of rare coins, this one's for you. We're diving into the world of the 1990 Jefferson nickel, a coin that might be sitting right under your nose, tucked away in your pocket change or hidden in your collection. This seemingly ordinary 5-cent piece has the potential to surprise you with its rarity and immense value. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your nickels in a whole new light. Let's take a quick trip back to 1990. It was a time of change, not just in the world of politics and pop culture, but also in the realm of U.S. coinage. The U.S. Mint had been producing Jefferson nickels for decades, and the 1990 version was no different in its design. But here's the thing, while most 1990 Jefferson nickels were struck and circulated like every other coin, there were some that were born with a special kind of flaw that makes them a highly sought-after treasure for collectors. Now, we all know that Jefferson nickels feature the iconic portrait of President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, and the reverse showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home. A familiar design, right? However, what makes the 1990 Jefferson nickel stand out are the minting errors that occurred during the production process. While the mint was churning out millions of these coins, some ended up with unique mistakes, making them incredibly rare and valuable. One of the most common errors in the 1990 Jefferson nickel is a struck-through error. This happens when the coin is struck by the press but something, usually debris, dirt, or another object, gets in between the die and the coin during the minting process. The result? A noticeable mark, distortion, or even a partial design missing from the coin. Struck-through errors are highly desirable to collectors because they create coins that are one-of-a-kind. These mistakes, which happen during the intense manufacturing process, can drastically increase the value of a coin. And the 1990 Jefferson nickel is a prime example of this, but that's not all. There's another type of error that can make this coin worth even more, the off-center error. This is when the coin is not aligned properly with the die, causing the design to be struck off-center. In the case of a 1990 Jefferson nickel, this means that parts of the coin's design could be missing or improperly aligned. This can make for a visually striking error coin, and the more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors are always on the lookout for these types of errors because they offer something completely unique, coins that are not like the others in circulation. But it's not just the errors that make the 1990 Jefferson nickel special. Condition is also a major factor. Like with any collectible coin, the better the condition, the higher the value. A coin that's been well preserved, free from scratches, corrosion, or wear and tear, is always going to be more valuable than one that's been through years of heavy circulation. So, how much can a 1990 Jefferson nickel be worth? Well, if you have a rare version of this coin, especially one with a significant minting error or in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a substantial payday. Some of these coins have sold for staggering amounts, and in some cases, they've been valued at $49,000. Yes, that's right, $49,000 for a single 1990 Jefferson nickel with the right error and in excellent condition. It's amazing how a simple 5-cent coin can turn into a high-value collectible just because of a small mistake during its production. So, if you happen to have any 1990 Jefferson nickels lying around, it might be time to take a closer look. Check for any of these minting errors, especially the struck-through or off-center errors. You might just have a hidden treasure in your collection. Remember, it's not just about having coins from the past, it's about finding those rare, unique pieces that can turn into a valuable investment. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and every time you dig into your collection or go hunting for rare coins, you might uncover something that could change your life. The 1990 Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of how a small mistake can lead to something extraordinary. So, don't underestimate those nickels. They might just be worth a whole lot more than you think. Today, we're unlocking the secrets of a coin that you've probably seen hundreds of times without realizing what a hidden gem it could be. I'm talking about the 1991 Jefferson nickel, a 5-cent coin that might just turn out to be worth thousands. That's right, this small piece of change could be far more valuable than it looks, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. So sit back, grab your coin jar, and let's uncover the mystery of the 1991 Jefferson nickel. At first glance, the 1991 Jefferson nickel doesn't appear much different from the rest. Featuring the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse, this coin has been a part of American currency since 1938. But don't let its common design fool you. What lies beneath the surface of this particular year's nickel is what truly gets collectors excited. Let's talk about what makes a 1991 Jefferson nickel truly special, and potentially very valuable. It all comes down to two things: rarity and error. Yes, not all 1991 nickels are created equal. While the U.S. Mint produced millions of them for circulation, only a few carry unique characteristics that make them worth far more than face value. One of the most prized features among collectors is a minting error, a mistake that happens during the coin's production. These errors can come in many forms, and they're what transform an ordinary nickel into an extraordinary find. One of the most intriguing and valuable types of errors found on 1991 Jefferson nickels is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that is shifted away from the center. Some coins may only be slightly off, while others can be dramatically misaligned, showing only a portion of Jefferson's face or the Monticello building. The more dramatic the off-center error, the more desirable the coin becomes. Another highly collectible error is the double die, which happens when a coin is struck more than once by the die, causing parts of the image or text to appear doubled. Imagine seeing the word Liberty or the date 1991 with a faint, doubled shadow. It's not just cool looking, it's rare, and rare means valuable. And then there are planchet errors, where the coin is struck on the wrong type of metal or an improperly prepared blank. Some 1991 nickels were accidentally struck on a copper planchet instead of the usual nickel composition. These off-metal strikes are incredibly rare and highly prized because they shouldn't exist at all. If you find one, it's like striking gold, except it's in the form of a 5-cent coin. But let's not forget one more key factor: condition. Even if a 1991 Jefferson nickel has one of these rare errors, its value will skyrocket if the coin is in mint or uncirculated condition. Coins that have never been used in daily transactions, that still have their original luster and detail, are always worth more. So if you've got a coin that's both rare and in excellent condition, you've got something very special on your hands. Now, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. How much could a rare 1991 Jefferson nickel be worth? Well, depending on the type of error, the rarity, and of course, the condition, these nickels have been known to fetch incredible prices. And yes, some of these rare specimens have sold for as much as $46,000. That's right, $46,000 for a single 5-cent coin. It's absolutely wild to think that a coin you might find in your spare change or lying at the bottom of a drawer could be worth more than a brand new car. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, and sometimes, that story ends with an unbelievable price tag. So, before you dismiss those nickels you've been saving or spending without a second thought, take a closer look. Flip through your coin rolls, dig through those old jars, and examine every 1991 Jefferson nickel carefully. You never know, you might just be sitting on a rare treasure. Today's video is going to blow your mind, especially if you've got a habit of holding onto your spare change. Because tucked inside that handful of nickels might just be one of the most underrated coins in your entire collection, the 1995 Jefferson nickel. That's right, a coin that most people don't even think twice about could be hiding some serious value. If you've got one, or if you're just starting your journey into coin collecting, stick around. This is one video you'll definitely want to watch until the very end. At first glance, the 1995 Jefferson nickel looks like every other nickel from the late 20th century. On the front, you've got the classic left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, stoic and timeless. On the reverse, his famous Monticello estate, just as it's appeared on nickels since 1938. It's simple, elegant, and iconic. But don't be fooled. While most 1995 nickels are worth only face value, a few of them are worth much, much more. So, what turns a common coin into a collector's dream? The answer lies in rare minting errors, condition, and unusual strikes, things that make certain coins unique, one of a kind, and highly desirable. Let's start with mint errors. These are mistakes that happen during the coin's production at the US Mint. While the mint has quality control processes in place, it's still possible for some flawed coins to make it out into circulation, and that's where collectors get excited. One of the most valuable and eye-catching errors on 1995 Jefferson nickels is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned in the press, and the result is a design that's shifted to one side. Depending on how off-center the strike is, and how much of the design is missing, these coins can be extremely rare. Then there's the double die error, where parts of the design, such as Jefferson's profile, the date, or the word Liberty, appear to have been stamped twice. This creates a shadow-like or doubled effect that can be seen with the naked eye or under magnification. It's a favorite among collectors because it's visually striking and incredibly rare. Another intriguing error is the wrong planchet strike, where a nickel is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, like a penny or a foreign coin. These coins often have unusual coloration, size, or weight and are prized for their rarity and oddity, but even without a dramatic error, the condition of a 1995 Jefferson nickel can significantly affect its value. A coin that has never been circulated and still holds its original shine and crisp detail is considered mint state. And if you have one of these mint condition nickels, especially with a rare error, the value can skyrocket. Now, let's add some excitement for the collectors out there. Imagine finding one of these coins in a pocket change, coin roll, or your childhood coin jar, and realizing you're holding a rare piece of history. It's these kinds of stories that make coin collecting such a thrilling hobby. Every nickel has a past, and some of them carry a much greater future than anyone expects. So what does all this mean in terms of actual money? Let's talk numbers. A rare 1995 Jefferson nickel with a major error like a double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet, especially in mint state, has been known to reach incredible prices at auctions and private sales, and yes, you guessed it, one of these rare 1995 Jefferson nickels has been valued at a jaw-dropping $40,000. Yes, $40,000 for a 5-cent coin. That's the kind of story that turns casual collectors into lifelong enthusiasts. That's the power of knowing what to look for and paying attention to the small details most people ignore. So, if you've got a few old nickels lying around, or if you're picking through a roll from the bank, pay special attention to those from 1995. Look closely for doubling, off-center strikes, or anything unusual. You might just be looking at a tiny piece of metal that's worth a massive payday. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare, valuable, and often overlooked coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another coin treasure reveal. And if you think you've got a rare 1995 nickel or any other valuable coin, drop a comment below and share your find. I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, happy collecting, and keep those eyes peeled. The next coin you find might just change your life.